Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm a journalist and digital campaigner, and today we're going to be speaking about the benefits of coming out of your comfort zone. Let me ask you this. What if one day the whole world just stopped? What would you wish you had done when you had the chance? Are you living your best life right now? The what ifs of life can either become a driving force or a regret. The results of what we become is up to us taking the chance to pursue what we truly want in life. Sometimes, however, we can get a little bit stuck in life, as if there's nothing new happening, and as if we're playing the same daily cycle on autopilot. Get up, go out to school or work, come home, sleep, and start again. Sound familiar? Don't worry, it happens to every single one of us at some point, but it might just mean that we're too in the comfort zone, and we need to switch it up a little bit by taking a risk. So first, let's have a look at the different zones. Zone 1 is your comfort zone. Zone 2 is your stretch zone, and Zone 3 is your panic zone. Let's break them down a little bit. Firstly, the comfort zone is a safe space, usually the place where your day-to-day routine takes place. It has its pros, like enhancing safety and a sense of belonging, but usually nothing new or life-changing happens in this space. The stretch zone, however, lies just outside your comfort zone. This is where, you're stretched. It's usually within your stretch zone that you expand your knowledge and understanding of things by stepping out of your comfort zone and taking risks. This could be something like signing up for a new public speaking gig, visiting a new country, or asking a new friend out. Think of your most creative moment or hardest challenge that shaped you. This all happens within your stretch zone. Sometimes we can go beyond a safe space of learning and enter our panic zone. It's important to be aware when you've reached your panic zone and why. Sometimes you may need to enter this area to quickly solve an issue, like trying to locate a lost phone or making it to an interview on time. But you shouldn't stay there for too long, as it can be harmful to your health. Here, your energy is used up by managing and trying to control your anxiety, often leaving you feeling burnt out and overwhelmed. If you do find yourself in this state, stop, take a step back, and control your breathing. This will help bring your physiological response, such as a faster heart rate and a higher body temperature, under more control, therefore reducing the impact and helping you get back into the stretch zone. Pro tip, you can go back to the comfort zone whenever you like. Go there, take a breather, but remember, achieving your dreams lie just outside this area. Okay, so I want you to try something out with me. Firstly, just cross your arms. Got that? Now, try and reverse cross your arms with the opposite hand on top. It feels a bit uncomfortable, doesn't it? The essential step to coming out of your comfort zone is trying something that makes you feel uncomfortable. This is all a part of coming out of your comfort zone. This can be facing a whole new challenge or finding a new way of doing an old thing. Whilst deciding, it's important to acknowledge where your strengths lie and which ones may need stretching. You can do this quickly by writing a list of your strengths and weaknesses down on a piece of paper to see them more clearly. Think, what would your closest say about you? Why not try it now? Write down 5 strengths and 5 weaknesses. Remember, don't be too hard on yourself. There's almost nothing that can't be worked on when growth is the goal. Want to know some ways that you can push yourself out your comfort zone? Here's 3 challenges that you can do. The first step of coming out your comfort zone is, taking the first step. Most things seem normal because they are. Don't let the fear of failure stop you from trying something new. If you have an interest in a certain thing, it might be time for you to explore it. Going for a new job or taking on a different project will not only widen your social network, but will expand your skills and knowledge. You'll find where you fit in and what you're good at. And if not, it's on to the next. Also, why not try do something that you normally do a little bit different? You could take a different route home, for example. Maybe if you take the bus home, you could get off 1 stop ahead and walk the rest. You never know what you might find or who you might bump into, and the whole change of scenery can be a good challenge in itself. Simply by reinventing your usual routine in little ways will leave you feeling energized, positive, and ready for more. The final challenge is reaching out to a new mentor. This can be someone who works in the field that you're interested in, or simply someone that you admire that you think you can learn from. Why not try someone outside of your network? This can be challenging socially, but once you get past the reaching out and breaking the ice, You will realize that everyone has their own stories and experiences of overcoming challenges. There's many things that you can do, like trying a new class, saying yes more often, or trying for that new job that you've never done before. One thing I love to do is journaling, as to reflect on situations that I've gone through. This can be such a good way of identifying situations, improvements, and also it's great for mindfulness in general. Many people do it in the morning or at the end of the week or after a big or challenging event has happened. This can be done on a notepad or simply on your phone, which is especially helpful if you're on the go and something pops in your mind. I would recommend using both, but a simple pen and piece of paper works too. Try to do it next time you find yourself in a situation outside of your comfort zone. Journaling can be useful for reflecting, getting thoughts out, identifying your strengths, or even planning. Hi Raye, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
So we're talking about coming out of the comfort zone and the benefits of doing it. So could you give us an example of a time that you come out of your comfort zone? I'm sure there's many in your career. And how did you find it? Why did you come out of your comfort zone as well in the first place?
You know what, on the worst of days, even leaving your house is leaving your comfort zone, you know? But in life, it is about, you know, the balance of being comfortable and taking care of yourself, but also going out and putting yourself out there and, you know, leaving your comfort zone. I think if you always remain inside your comfort zone, you don't learn things, you don't necessarily push yourself or end up sometimes in weird, awkward situations in which amazing things happen. For me, I've always been very impulsive and I'm kind of not afraid to take a risk. Sometimes I'm kind of the opposite, where I don't think about the repercussions soon enough. I'm like, right, let's go do it now. Let's get in the car and go to Thorpe Park now. Like
how am I getting back? Like, really,
right.
Like,
do you know what I mean? Well, exactly. I feel like living that way is actually more fulfilling. And we do need our safe spaces and our sanctuary. But if you live every day in a comfort zone, you're not living. I feel like the biggest thing as well about stepping out of your comfort zone is you surprise yourself. You know, it's one of those things, yeah, this is a good analogy. I love trying new food, right? And I have some friends from the ends, like, chicken and chips. And I grew up eating chicken and chips.
Where are you
from? I'm from Croydon. But, you know, at church on a Sunday, we'd be hunting around for 10p from all the aunties so we can go get a 2-piece wing and
chips. That's a strategy. I didn't even do that. Oh, come on.
5p, please. You know, but what it is, you know, I'll take my girls now, because I love to eat fancy too. Like, I love home cooked, but I love to eat fancy. I'll take my girls and they'll be like, poking the squid, like, rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, you know what? If you opened your mind and you got out of your comfort zone and you tried this food with a fresh mind, this might be your new favourite plate of food. And you just don't know. If you choose to always stay safe and be like, I'll get chips and a Coke, that's all you'll ever know. Life is meant to be lived, like, just grab it.
100%, 100%. Love that view. So what advice would you give to a young person who's thinking about coming out of their comfort zone, but again, you know, hasn't tried it before, has their anxieties about it?
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
Well, think about what the worst that can happen is, worst case scenario, and then work backwards. It is daunting and it is scary. It's like skydiving for the first time, you know, it's like jumping out of a plane is scary, and yet there are risks if you get on a plane that the plane could crash. There are risks if you get in a car that you could get, if there's risk if you leave your house, you get hit by a car as you cross the road. Like, if you want to think about all the reasons why you shouldn't do something, I could also sit here and help you come up with all of those things. You know, find the people you love, talk to them about it, empower yourself, listen to a pep talk, listen to a podcast, listen to a motivational speaker, go and watch your idol who gone and achieved something incredible, watch them talk, fuel yourself with fire and go and try it.
Yeah. What's the worst that can happen,
What's the worst that can happen?
So what have you, along the same lines, what have you learned from taking risks?
I think that probably has defined who I am. So I'm in the studio and there's someone in the room 2 doors down and I really want to work with them, and it's David Guetta. And I'm like, I'm good at this dance thing. Like, I know I could write this guy a huge top line, but he doesn't know me. How am I going to do this? So then I'm working with someone who is a mutual friend of of him. So then I get him to just go out into the corridor, and then when he's walking past and they start talking, and then he's like, have you met Raye? Rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. And I went straight in. I'm like, do you have any instrumentals? I know we've just met, but do you have any backing tracks? Can you send them to me? He sent them to me, and on that day, I wrote the song that we released. It went to number 20 in the chart. But like, it's about, that wasn't comfortable for me. I don't know that man. What the worst that could happen is he could have said no. Yeah. That's it, and I would have looked like a mug, you know? I've done that so many times and looked like a mug. If the worst case scenario is you're getting a no, go and ask the bloody question. You know what I mean? If that's all it is.
100%.
But sometimes in your head it feels so much bigger.
Yeah, 100%.
And scarier and less tangible.
It's just about going for it. And I think with your case, it's like, and for many people, like, you are talented enough. You are prepared enough. As you were saying, you wrote it on the same day. So it's just about meeting that opportunity by going for it.
Yeah. Exactly. Take the opportunity. If it's there, take it.
Go get it.
In a northern accent. Let them know.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you, babe. A pleasure.
You've got this. And remember, there's always another day. This is your show, your story. Make it legendary.
Hi, I'm Pete Jevons. I work for BT and I look after all of the brand and marketing for BT, EE and PlusNet. It's a great question. I think the most recent one that springs to mind is the work that we did on the BT brand relaunch. It sort of invoked a whole lot of emotions, if I'm completely honest with you, that range from, I think, sort of excitement was probably the first one, because I think when you start something new and you understand the impact that it can have and the scale of what you're about to do, I think that element of excitement definitely comes through, and understanding that brilliant opportunity. I think personally what I found though was that excitement very, very quickly sort of changes to sort of a little bit of apprehension, where you suddenly go, "Whoa, hang on a second, this is quite a big job and I'm being trusted with managing an awful lot here. What if something goes wrong?" And that's for me, that's sort of the first thing that I always leap to is, well, what could go wrong here? And then I think as you start to work through all of those things to try and get a plan clear in your mind, I think what normally happens with me is it dawns on you how big the task is. And then you get a sense of being slightly overwhelmed in terms of how am I going to manage to do all of this? And then I think then you almost sort of come, well, I do anyway, I almost come full circle back round. And then once, assuming you sort of navigated all of that successfully, then at the end of what you're doing, there's always a sense of pride. And I think with the BT brand relaunch, actually, that the sense of pride was absolutely immense, because we sort of ended the project with a massive event at Wembley Arena, where we brought in, there was a whole lot of kids involved in it, doing a drone world record, and Jess Glynn was singing. And I remember sitting at the back of the auditorium, actually, watching Jess Glynn sing, and I had a little cry, because I was I became a little bit overcome with emotion at seeing the final outcome of everything that we've been working on for the last, God, it must have been about 6 months we were working on it for. So a real sense of pride comes as well. The other thing I've learned, and this has come from a number of sort of big things I've worked on, whether it was the launch of EE back in 2012 or the BT brand relaunch, I think it's really, really important to make people feel like you're in control of the situation, even if you're not. And I don't mean that you should be. I don't mean that you should lie and you should pretend that everything's okay when it's not. But a general sense of an air about you of "I've got this, it's cool," is really, really important, because what I've learned is that it means that then people have confidence in what you're doing, and it means that more often than not they leave you alone to do the job that you've set out to do. The flip of that, which I think is also massively important, is always shout when you need help. So if there is something that you're going, I have no idea what I'm doing here, or I have no idea how to try and overcome this, or whatever it may be, just always shout, and don't try to do everything yourself, because it will overwhelm you. The first thing to remember is that whilst it might feel like you're the only person in the world that is feeling out of their comfort zone, that's absolute nonsense. Every single person, I challenge anybody at any in any job, in any organisation at any level, to say that they've never felt out of their comfort zone, and it might be different things for different people, but everyone feels that. So don't feel like you are the only one that is having a little wobble. And then the second thing I would say based on that is just don't worry about it. If something doesn't go exactly as you would want it to go, just go again. And I think that's a really important sort of characteristic, in that no one is going to judge you by something not going quite according to plan. I think what people will judge you on is your ability to learn from that, act upon that, and do something differently next time. So I think it's always easy to say. It's always easy to say in hindsight that if something doesn't quite go according to plan, don't worry about it. But that's the only thing you can't do, because if you worry about it too much, I think you'll just go into sort of paralysis and never want to sort of step out and do something different again.
Make sure you check out the Apprentice Nation website for more short sets within our programme. In particular, how to successfully network, the importance of having a mentor, and the Mind, Body and Soul webinar, which I co-host. I'm Natalie. Thanks for watching. Take care.